What's going on, everybody? It's the Jack here once again with another Wavature 101 video for you guys. Yeah, that's right, Professor Wavature's back at it again with another Wavature 101 video for you guys on this wonderful Wavy Wednesday. But before we hop into the content of the video, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit that notifications bell as well so you get alerted every time.
Not just sometimes, not just occasionally, not pretty often.
Every time I drop a video, you guys will get notified and get that alert and will be able to tune in every Wavy Wednesday or any other day that I decide to release a video, okay? Alright guys, for this Wavature 101 video, we will be discussing the guide to healthier hair. We'll be discussing Professor Wavature's guide to healthy hair. A healthier hair. Healthier hair, doesn't matter the tense. Your hair will be healthy if you follow these tips. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so tip number one when it comes to bettering your hair health or just developing healthier hair will be to find your hair porosity. By finding your hair porosity, you'll simply just understand, your product choice better as far as what products you need, to use, what products to stay away from, what products or more so what ingredients within the product is more beneficial for your hair. It's almost like learning your hair porosity is like a cheat sheet. It just gives you the answers to your head as far as what your hair, wants and what your hair needs. Alright guys, a little disclaimer before I hop directly into giving you guys the tips. The disclaimer is about the tips, so this is still relevant information. All of these tips that I'm giving you guys today are all equally as important because they're all going to help you in the process and in the journey of, bettering your hair's health. So just because I list one before another or one after another doesn't mean that, any of these tips are, less important than others or more important than the ones that, will follow it. All of these are all, equally as important because they go hand in hand. It's almost like a puzzle. Every piece of the puzzle is important regardless if it's the main picture of the puzzle or the background or something in the foreground. Like everything is important because everything develops that image. The same way when it comes to these tips that I'm giving you guys, they're all going to come together to develop healthier hair, okay? Now that that's out the way. Alright guys, next tip is to keep your hair clean. If you don't keep your hair clean and properly washed, your hair would never be able to, become healthy, or your scalp won't be able to become healthy because it's going to be dirty and your pores are going to be clogged, and by your pores being clogged, you're not going to get proper hair growth, which is going to take away from your hair's health. There's just a lot that comes down to it as far as keeping your hair clean. Besides keeping your hair clean, you're going to want to follow that up by keeping your hair conditioned as well. Because if you're washing your hair without properly conditioning your hair, your hair is going to start losing its strength, it's going to lose its luster, because the shampoo is made to strip your hair and the conditioner is there to replenish your hair. So you want to just make sure that you're replenishing your hair as much as you can. Sometimes you don't even need to wash your hair with shampoo. You could just wash it with some conditioner. It kind of serves both purposes, but that's only to be done from time to time, not all the time. That's the reason why co-washes are a thing, but we're not talking about shampoo or wash tips, in today's video. So I'm going to move on to tip number 3. Alright guys, tip number 3 is going to be taking care of your scalp. Taking care of your scalp is very important because that's the foundation piece of your hair. That's the soil. As I always say, always compare your scalp to some nice rich soil. The richer the soil, the better the flowers and plant matter and other forms of plant life will grow and look, and the more strong those plants will be, the better roots those plants will have, the more vibrancy those plants will have. Same thing with your hair. Your hair strands are those plants and your scalp is the soil. So the richer your scalp is, the better hair growth you're going to have, the better, shine your hair is going to have, the better strength your hair is going to have. Your hair is just going to be a whole lot better because of the fact that it comes from a strong foundation. Your scalp is very important to your hair's health overall. So that's probably, is going to be something that you guys want to, take more time into doing and focusing is on your scalp health. I honestly started slacking on my scalp's health and stopped doing my scalp treatments like I used to. And over time, I developed a bad dandruff habit again because my scalp was always dry and not getting the proper nutrients. So yeah guys, taking care of your scalp is a really important thing. A couple of ways that you guys could take care of your scalp is doing hot oil treatments. Hot oil treatments is really good because the oil really your scalp really absorbs the oil a lot better. There also is something that you could do is do scalp massages with some sort of oil in your head and within your hands too, because that will over time help stimulate hair growth and help for your hair to grow fuller and bring like just overall nutrients to your head. And there's a lot of good benefits to it. I made a video on it a while back. I'll leave the link to that video in the description below. Also, you guys can invest in like scalp serums. There's a company called Organics that makes it like a mint one that I'm a big fan of. Just scalp serums just help with keeping your scalp moisturized. Especially if you live in like colder areas or if you have to wash your hair more frequently. A scalp serum will be very important to making sure your scalp stays really. Alright guys, my next tip for you guys, I believe this is like the 4th. I got everything written down. So if you guys see me keep like looking this way, it's because I'm looking at the tips that I wrote down for you guys. Alright. But yeah, so the next tip is going to be to let your hair breathe, let your scalp breathe. This thing on my head is called the do-rag, if you guys didn't know. I'm sure you guys didn't know. And from time to time you're gonna have to take these joints off and just let your hair breathe. From time to time, what I'll do is I'll just comb through my hair to lift my hair off my scalp, and just move about my day like that with no do-rag on or nothing, and just kind of to let some air hit my scalp and get underneath my like that layer of my hair, being that my hair is so compressed and so laid down and like molded. Sometimes you have to comb through that to lift everything up just to get some proper airflow. But also, like, if you guys are like woofing, or you're really trying to maintain your hair just has a really hard time staying laid, get yourself a mesh do-rag and wear that more often. Wear that when you're moving throughout your day, because at least it has like holes in it, so it's more ventilated, which will help your hair with its help your hair breathe a little bit more. Alright guys, just two more tips. I know this video is a little bit on the longer side. However, I figured a video that's this important needs to have some sort of duration of time and depth within the video, because your hair's health is probably more important than your waves, honestly, because if your hair isn't healthy, your waves aren't going to look good. You feel me? You're not going to develop good looking waves or just waves at all if you're not really paying attention to your hair's health, because your hair is not going to be good enough to to convert to waves. You feel me? But yeah, so my last 2 tips, I'm gonna get into, this one now. This tip is to keep your hair moisturized. Once you find your porosity and after you wash and condition your hair, it's really, really important to get into, moisturizing your hair. So you're gonna want to make sure your hair and your scalp is moisturized, as often as needed. If you're low porosity, you could go a few days, but in between, your moisturizing sessions, because of the fact that your hair withstands moisture a little longer. But if you're a high porosity haver, hair haver, you're going to want to moisturize more frequently, like probably on a daily basis, because of the fact that your hair doesn't hold on to moisture that well. And my last tip for you guys is to protect your hair at night. All that moisture and all that taking care of your hair that you do during the day, you don't want all that to go to waste by not, protecting it at night. So for you, for the wavers who's watching this video, make sure that you guys are putting on your do-rag at night, and wear your do-rag for the majority of nights that you are a waver, because of the fact that you, 1, want to make sure that you keep your waves intact, and 2, you don't want your hair to be stripped of those oils by by your pillowcase, or just take out, just hear me out, just listen. Just wear your do-rag at night. It's very, very important to your hair's health and to your wave health as well. So just rock your do-rag at night. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. It was full of information, so run it back if you have to. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you guys leave those below, and I'll be sure to answer and get back to every single one of you guys. Yeah, so with all that being said, you guys stay safe. You guys, keep that waveture going, keep that brush in motion if you want the ocean, and make sure you stay goal oriented and go get all those goals that you listed. Alright, so Professor Waveture is going to take off. You guys have a great night.